What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the news affecting NIO, what's going on with the news affecting the markets, and we should be watching for it as time progresses because we have lots of volatility likely coming. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. This offer ends in just 9 days from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. Looking at the market right now, we can see that NIO is not looking the strongest as it came down 3% for the day. And there's a risk of more downside if we end up losing our 50 EMA. However, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I just think that this could produce another really good buying opportunity on NIO. I think that NIO has a lot of potential to still see upside towards the end of the year, but the market right now could cause some other types of price action. We could actually see NIO pop thanks to the market initially before we see this thing decline a bit. So I'm going to break down why that is, how the market could affect NIO, and some other important factors to look at. So when it comes to earnings coming out, we have Uber and Rivian coming out for tomorrow, and then we have like Roblox and AMC for Wednesday alongside Walt Disney. And that's pretty much it for now, nothing too crazy. For tomorrow, we have a bunch of Fed speakers for Tuesday right here. So we have Barr, Jeffrey, Waller, Williams, and Logan all giving speeches throughout the day, every couple of hours. And then we also have the Economic Optimism Report at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's also going to be a report of the total household debt around noon Eastern Standard Time for the Q3 report. So watch for some volatility at 11 o'clock a.m. and noon tomorrow. And then also throughout the day, we have Fed speakers, which I don't think they're going to cause that much volatility, but we'll see if they say anything. So that's going to be it for tomorrow. The reason why we have all these Fed speakers coming up is because they're going to be leading us to Wednesday when Jerome Powell is going to be giving another speech. And we'll be watching to see what the guy has to say this time. I mean, when he speaks, the whole market's going to move. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday when Powell speaks. But for now, we're just going to be listening to what these Fed speakers say and what they cause for the markets. Now, the Nasdaq is closed higher again on Monday. This is the longest winning streak since January of this year, which is pretty insane. For NIO, there's some news coming out. This actually came out a couple of days ago that NIO plans to cut 10% of its workforce amidst the fierce competition going on. And they're going to be completed with these job cuts by November. This helped NIO pop a bit on Friday alongside the overall market. But on top of this, we're just going to be waiting to see what is said about NIO and what other announcements are made. I didn't see anything else that was too big. The ET7 is still getting more recognition as it made the CIIE. It was looked at the 6th CIEE as the official car, basically. And at this very important event, we're going to be looking for more improvements to be made and what else ends up going on. So this is going to be very interesting to see how NIO looks at the events and what other things they announce. When it comes to the price-price ratio, it's bouncing a little bit because NIO is getting a little bit of strength, but it's not that strong still. It's just showing some improvement, but it's not there yet to like really start running. We're going to be waiting to see if earnings or other factors could really help it. On top of this, I just want to call out that when it comes to daily seasonality, we're likely going to see some interesting price action for Tuesday because 55% of the time we tend to be green, and we tend to see more volatility around 11 and also around the last 3 hours of the trading day. NIO tends to show more volatility. And that's pretty much it for now. When it comes to the volume, we have about 43 million, so above average volume. But the question is, how is NIO looking? So NIO is about to get a bearish cross on the 4-hour PPO, which could be signaling some more potential downside. But before that happens, we could see NIO pop a little bit. We could see this thing retest 8.25 in my opinion, because SPY looks like it has some more upside alongside the Nasdaq and the QQQ before we end up starting to see more declines. So what I'm thinking is, even though we're very close to a bearish crossover, there could be another pop coming. We could get very close to 436. If we break it, I think SPY could go just a little bit higher, just a tiny bit more to 438 to 436. Then we might see it just trade sideways again, either between 435 and 438. But if we lose 435, then we have some support at 433. So watch between 433 and 438 basically, and with 435 being in the middle. And we're going to likely see a lot of like range bound price action for some time before the market starts to decline later on, in my opinion. So look for a little pop, then a drop, sideways price action. Then we might start to see the market decline a little bit later on. Tesla looks range bound right now. We're seeing this thing trying to hold 215 near the 200, not the 200, but the 50 EMA. On the daily, it's the 5 EMA right over there. That's support with resistance around 225 to 228. So I believe that we might see Tesla attempt to pop back up towards this 225 area, come back down to 215, just trade sideways for an extended period of time. But if we lose the 50 EMA, this 215 area, we're going to see Tesla decline. I believe it's going to happen later. We're not there yet, but it's going to happen later on in the future. So look for a little pop on Tesla, a little pop to the upside, and a drop. Sideways price action for now. And if we lose this 215 area, we're likely going to see some more downside. I think it's going to happen later, maybe not as soon as we open, but in the future, over the next few days, it might happen. So look for range bound price action and eventually just that. Now for Aapl, the thing about Aapl is we have this tight resistance around 180 to 181.9. So I think that Aapl might test 180, pushing the market up just a little bit more. But then we might see some range bound price action for Aapl that leads to an eventual sell-off. So look for a little pop in a sideways price action and a sell-off being very probable. For the QQQ, same thing. We have this slight bearish divergence. We could pop a bit towards 370 or so, maybe a little higher, 370 to 371. Then we might see this thing once again form its top, because I think we're in a topping process. We could just pump a little bit more, and we're just going to see sideways price action. But later on down the line, I think the market's going to decline soon. We're just not there yet. We need a little bit more time. But soon it's going to likely happen. So we're going to be watching for that very carefully. And finally, for Nvidia, same thing. It could go up to about 460 to 462 and then eventually top around there. Then see some sideways price action and eventually curl. I think we're not ready yet, but we're getting closer by the days for the decline that's coming. So watch these tops and be very careful at them. I think the market has more upside coming, and I think that this could help NIO pop a little bit. I think NIO might pop towards 8.2 to 8.25, this range right here. Then we might see NIO reject and eventually come back down to 7.8 and still try to hold the 50 EMA and close like very flat. But I think that in the future, later on, we might see NIO decline. So we might see a little pop tomorrow, then a drop in sideways price action. But either at the end of the day tomorrow or maybe over the next few days, NIO is going to eventually fill this gap down here at 7.46. If we lose 7.8 as support, that is the 4-hour 20 EMA without the extended hours. And with the extended hours, it's going to be around the 50 EMA area. So look for a little pop towards the very low 8s, then a drop, some sideways price action for some time. And in the future, either at the end of the day tomorrow or maybe a little bit later, we might see NIO start declining below 7.8 to see some downside. All right, so I hope that's as clear as possible. The downside is going to take NIO to 7.4. So a little pop, some sideways price action, and then a drop later on is what I'm anticipating for NIO as the most likely possibility. I think the market's going to play a big role in that happening, and it's going to affect NIO. We're just going to be watching these levels as time goes on. All right, guys. So get ready for lots of Fed speakers for tomorrow, and we'll see what Jerome Powell says on Wednesday. Please take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks again, and peace out.